Hello, plant community. Thanks for tuning into Full of Foliage. Pam's here creating a safe space, showing lots of grace, sharing a lot of plant care, plant hauls, planty crafts, and the occasional shopping trips. Join me so that we can become planty friends, have fun, and possibly learn and grow. Hey guys, today is Alocasia Chore Day. And this is the time where I actually just wipe down the leaves of my Alocasia and check for pests, possibly chop off any dead leaves, pull away some debris, and just do an overall check of my Alocasia collection. And that's pretty much what I try to do from time to time to ensure that these plants are happy, healthy, and hopefully thriving. So if this seems like something that y'all are into or interested in, stick around and we can chat also about the care and some of my perspective in regards to this beautiful plant species. Don't forget to double check to ensure that you are subscribed to this channel. Keep pushing those thumbs up because they have been helping my channel out a lot. And thank you so much in advance. And also, please remember to share to a friend if you feel that you know someone who could benefit from this kind of video. Okay, so again, like I said, this is something that I do. I don't do this type of treatment care every time I water the plants because I just have too many plants in my collection. And honestly, you guys, that would just be really unrealistic for me to be able to do that. But I do my best to try to be mindful to stay on top of this kind of treatment, what I would consider a pre-pest management group. And I know that alocasias are known for really having spider mite issues, and it's been rare occasions where I may have seen a mealybug or two, but not necessarily because of the species. I think maybe another plant beside it may have had that issue. So really haven't had that much of an issue, but I feel like we just need to just have a casual conversation where I provide some of my perspectives on the experience that I've had with growing alocasias. Alocasias, as far as my collection, you guys, tend to be one of the newly added, slowly added additions in my collection. And so, you know, initially in the beginning of my plant journey, I was a little bit more fearful of trying out to grow these beauties because of so many people talking about the infestations or the pest issues that they've had, how fussy they can be, how they die back. And I was intimidated by that, but I tried one. And, you know, I learned things. You know, at best, alocasias just teach me how to treat my plants better, if that makes sense. So, you know, I'm a rambler, I can go on and on. So I'm just going to start off. Let's talk about this right here. So my pre-pest management, this is actually, used to be one of my cash poles I use for my plant, but I put water in here. I put approximately 4 cups of water. And what's in here is actually alcohol. So it's a tablespoon per 2 cups. So I put 2 tablespoons of alcohol in here. And I also put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, alcohol, of course, I use that because that helps deter away pests, perhaps prevent some form of infections, where the lemon juice is acidic. So the acid in the lemons actually cut through grime, and it also can help promote natural shine in your leaves. So that would be like the best way to go, as opposed to probably buying those commercialized leaf spray shines. I don't think that's beneficial for your plant, but that's a conversation for another day. Traditionally, sometimes too, I also have concentrated neem oil. Usually I would put maybe like a capful or maybe like a little drop in this solution. Sometimes I do that, but then I also have my already pre-made spray where it's pretty much the same thing as just water. I may put like a drop or 2 in here, shake it up, and it's good to go. So what I traditionally like to do is I wipe down my leaves and then I spray this on as a topper. Again, this neem oil for me works best, I think, in a pre-pest management capacity, as opposed to if a form of a infestation of some kind, or you see pests come out. I don't think, it's been my experience, it doesn't seem like it does well with actually killing pests. I think it does better as a pre-pest management thing. And so I do use this. I also have my shears. Sorry guys, I feel like something, I have this fan blowing right here to circulate, especially when I have the door closed and I feel like it's blowing something in my eye. But anyway, sharing too much, I guess, but that's the reality of life, right? So I also have my shears, you guys. This has already been sanitized, and I always have this handy just in case I see something that I want to cut away or remove, or some kind of concern, whether it's some dead debris, crunchiness, or something crispiness, or something like that. And then I also have my, what is this? This microfiber cloth. And this is pretty much what I do. Now, honestly, I do this, you guys, like, wiping down leaves for me is honestly so therapeutic. I don't really mind doing it. And so traditionally I would do this like when I'm like watching one of my favorite shows. Or perhaps, you know, I'll have like a cup of coffee, usually is my go-to. And yeah, and I can just sit down, watch my favorite show, wipe down the leaves, and I'm happy with that. And so that's what I do. So now, you know, I'm just bringing you guys along, and we're going to talk a little bit. And I decided to actually do this video because one of y'all reached out to me in one of my videos that I did not too long ago. So another thing, you guys, I also wipe on the top part of the leaf and also the back. And I'm also wiping that area, or paying a little bit close attention to the area of where the leaf meets the beginning of the petioles, because pests likes to hang around that area of the plant. And the spider webbing is very common to be in between this divot right here of the leaf. And so those are my two main focal points when I'm wiping down my Alocasia leaves. Honestly, this step that I'm doing, I do it with all the plants that have big leaves in my home. I try to do that from time to time. I'm doing this at least once, I would say maybe once every 2 months. But also too, when I water my plants, I try to be mindful to take a look to see if there's any formation of potential pest buildup. And sometimes, you know, I'm able to control it, and then sometimes I could forget to take a look when I water, because, you know, it may depend on the situation. It could be in the middle of the work week, and I just don't have the time to be doing all of that. And then sometimes a pest will wind up and sneak up on me. And sometimes I do wipe the petioles. I feel like that is also an important part. That's just my experience. I don't know how necessary it is to actually clean the petioles. And sometimes I do remove these brown pieces that you see on Alocasias, you guys, because I know sometimes they can be homes to some of our pests. And so whenever I'm able to, I do remove that part. And honestly, this could actually be potted in a deeper pot, because it's a lot of like growth points right here for opportunities for roots. So if I wanted to, I could actually put it in a deeper pot. But for now, since we are approaching the non-growing season, at least in my area, I won't be doing that. So I will just be caring for her the best way that I can. And this is my Alocasia, I think, Pink Princess, you guys. And yeah, you see the natural sheen in it. I have about a total of 12 to maybe 13 different varieties of Alocasia in my collection. The one Alocasia you guys will not be seeing in this video, you guys, if y'all been watching me, you already know, It's that Jacqueline, and it's not that she has met her demise. Thank goodness she has not. But I'm doing something with her. That plant is such a diva, you guys. She requires her own special video. Her own special video of something that I'm doing. And I'm testing it out. I'm bringing you guys along to see whether or not if it works. You know, this is like, y'all already know, I've already talked about it being my last attempt with growing her. So she will either sink or swim. I don't know, but if I happen to get another one, honestly, I feel like someone would literally have to gift me her again in order for me to try. And it's a shame because I really love that plant. She is so beautiful. This is my Alocasia adora, you guys, if y'all don't know this particular species. But so far so good. You know, her leaves can be lighter than this, but I want her to stay just like this. I think it's the proper balance for her to be able to maintain the chlorophyll that she needs. Now, really quickly, let's talk about touching Alocasia leaves. I wanted to touch on that a bit because one of you guys actually reached out to me and actually asked me about that. You know, how bad is it? You've heard that touching the leaves could potentially damage the plant. Now, honestly, you know, this is my Alocasia Dragon's Breath. She's struggling a bit, you guys. She's seen better days. She actually had a lot of infestations with, what you want to call it, spider mites. And I had to cut a lot of her leaves. So she's kind of starting over. I don't feel bad in any way about it. I was wondering if I should take her out of this and just try to focus on her roots. Again, I don't know what her roots look like. I think her roots are fine. I did cut back and she has grown a little like growth points. Y'all see the little green pieces here and there. And so I'm just going to leave her be now because, you know, I really don't like digging in my plants too much when we start approaching the non-growing season. Unless, oh, this one just came. But it has roots. Okay. I may actually... There's no leaf on here. So maybe I can do a little... Yeah. I'll put her to the side. I think I'll do some form of a... experimentation opportunity for me. She is starting to grow a leaf though, which... I don't know if I should put her back in here or not. Nope. I'm going to experiment. No guts, no glory. Y'all know I say this all the time. No guts, no glory. I'm not going to second guess my thought. I made a decision. I'm sticking to it. But anyway, let's go back to the touching Alocasia leaves. One of you guys had made a mention or stated that you heard that touching the leaves could be bad. Now, honestly, I've never actually heard of that. Now, of course, you know, if we are being rough handling our plant leaves, then we can damage them by just rough handling it. But I don't think it's like for Alocasia specifically. Now, what I do know as far as regards of touching Alocasias is it may not be damaging to the plant, but it could be damaging somewhat to you guys if you are a particular person that has very sensitive skin. So Alocasias, I believe, contains like calcium oxalated crystals on, I believe, maybe the underside of the leaves. And if you have sensitive skin, it can cause irritation. But, I mean, it can cause irritation to the skin, period. But it's going to probably be more pronounced if you have sensitive skin. So it can cause possible itching, burning, and rashes. So, you know, traditionally they say if you have sensitive skin and you want to handle your alocasias, it may be best that you use some form of protective gear. So that's all that I've heard actually in regards to touching of the plants. But if any of you guys actually know more on that subject, I encourage you guys to comment and share below. I forgot to spray my solution on these plants. So which one? Which ones did I just do already? I just only did 3. Okay, let me get that back. And I just sprayed the top and the bottom and the petiole. Now, of course, you know when you use neem oil, you want to make sure your plants are not really in bright sun because it is oil. The sun will, you know, cook your plant. But today, it's not as bright and sunny today. It seems like the light is out, but it's like an overcast. So I just spray it and let them be. Okay, so this is my, y'all already seen my Alocasia Maharani. She's doing very well, and I want to make sure she stays that way. So I'm definitely watch this plant. She means a lot to me. I mean, outside the fact that my husband brought it for me for my birthday last year, it's just such a beautiful, structured plant. And because of the delicate, y'all can see how delicate the veination, you could feel it. If y'all have the Maharani, you can actually feel the veination and the lining in it. So it causes me to just make sure I really get into the cracks and crevices of this plant. I can say for the most part, knock on wood, and I hope it stays that way, and I'm not jinxing it by me telling you guys this, but I haven't really had any pest issues with this plant this whole time I've had her. You know, of course, I had to rescue her and change her substrate, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I think she's doing pretty good, and I just love this plant. It's like one of my top Alocasia plants. You know, and you know, plants don't necessarily have to be in the biggest growth formation for you to be totally in love with it, right? I feel like sometimes on some social media platforms, we do a lot of paying attention to the biggest, the creamiest, the most expensive, and things like that. And that's just not what I'm all about here. So it's, and to each his own. You know, I'm not really knocking anybody. You like what you like the way that you like it, but that's just not my thing for me. I'm just too, I don't know. I try to be humble as best I don't know. I can, I guess. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to, I don't know, come off like offensive to somebody else, because I too care about everybody's feelings, but I don't get that in return. But it's okay. But yeah, so I really love this plant. Okay, so let's talk about dormancy. Honestly, you guys, I have not had my plants go into dormancy. And dormancy basically, as far as the leaves dying back and you're down to just the stem itself, I really haven't had that experience yet. And I feel like if you are able to maintain the environment, maintain the environment where it's still kind of like mimic that it's still in the growing season, then they won't do so. And an interesting fact that I just discovered from me bringing all these plants in here is I only have 2 alocasias growing in here. Growing in this room, which would be like the S tier environment, I think, to grow my alocasias. Some of them I had an issue with, and I had to actually take them inside my home. I never grew, this is my cupria. I never grew this one, I don't think, actually in here. I've always grown this inside. She died back tremendously, where I actually had to put her into this substrate. And I'm glad I did, because she, as you can see right here, you guys, she has a lot of roots and she's growing a lot of babies. So that's always super exciting to see. But yeah, I think if you mimic the conditions of how they grow, you won't really have that issue with them dying back. And the two main pieces of maintaining the way that they grow, honestly, I gotta say, I attribute it to light and the watering. Light and watering. They like bright light. Bright indirect light, I think, is the best way to go. I don't think you can put them and shove them in a darker corner of your home without some kind of supplemental light, and they do well. The watering aspect, I say watering wise, because I feel like a well-watered alocasia sometimes also there's like a relationship between how well watered your alocasia is versus the pests that they get. I noticed that sometimes my plants, my alocasias, will get the spider mite action if I have not been on top of watering, which while the majority of my plants are either in this semi-hydroponic situation or they're in a self-watering pot. But I do have some that's actually just grown regularly. I think it's just a couple of them that I will show you guys. But I do want to share alocasia with y'all that is not doing well. And this is my alocasia black stem. As you can see, she lost her leaves. And this plant was the plant that I had in my living room, and then I brought her into the sunroom here, and then I just moved her back not too long ago so that I can make space for the plants that I was bringing back inside. When I brought her inside, maybe I didn't check her, or maybe the change did something with her. I'm not 100% sure, but the leaves, both leaves, well, one leaf was dying off, and then the other leaf was actually having spider mites, you guys, and so I cut it. But because I know that I'm just wiping this down just for good measure, and I'm trying to keep it watered, and I have her in the same location that I usually have her at. But you see here, it's like you'll feel where another leaf could actually come out. So I didn't want to cut it on both sides. I can feel it. It's literally like right here. So I just cut it enough, and I'm hoping that me just keep monitoring her and watering her and keeping her under the proper lighting, that at some point she will emerge a leaf right here. I feel kind of confident that she will come back because she's been really a resilient one. And let's talk about resiliency for a little bit too, you guys. I honestly think, I don't know, for me, I feel like I cannot grow every type of alocasia in my home, right? And that was kind of proved with the Jacqueline that I'm so struggling with. So you can be successful with alocasias, but I think it has to be the right type of alocasia. This is my alocasia. What's this? Polly, you guys, the one that was gifted, the one that I probably would have never brought on my own, but I brought it, and I mean, no, I was gifted it, and I love it. Go figure, right? This plant right here is the other plant that's grown in this room. And honestly, she's growing so well in here, I don't see me actually taking her inside my house. Now, one of her lower leaves did turn completely yellow. I just cut it off because, again, because they're so prone to pests, I don't want to have any form of anything near these babies. As you can see right here, she is pushing out new growth. I just love the way that they look when they first start growing the growth. It's such a beautiful purplish hue. Since I've had this plant, and I've had her for a while now, at least over a year for sure, possibly going on 2, she may have had spider mites at least twice, but I do definitely try to make sure I stay on top of this one. I really love her so much. And you know what? I even take my cloth and wipe the outside of this leaf just to preserve it, because have y'all had plants that's been so infested or potentially infested till it's just attacking even the new growth before it actually comes out. I've had that happen, so I do want to make sure that I am, wiping them down real good even with that. Now I'm just pulling away whatever I'm able to. I don't even know if this is a requirement, you guys. It's just something that I do. I just feel better because I've had other plants, not particularly alocasias, where I've seen pests hiding in these little, I don't know what to call them, sheaths or dead spaces. I just try to, I don't know, I like pulling them out whenever I can. I don't know if y'all do that or y'all just leave it be. I think it's personal preference too, as far as the time you have to spend on caring for your plants on a daily basis. But again, I find doing all of this so therapeutic for me. It doesn't even feel like work. I really, if I could like maybe not do my regular 9 to 5 and, be able to focus on plant care would be, I think, like the ultimate dream for me. I don't know. Now, really quick, let's talk about humidity. I don't know about humidity as far as how much humidity the plant needs. Currently, I checked inside my home, my monitor, my humidity monitor, and it said currently at the time 55%, which I think is pretty good. The majority of the allocations that's growing in my home, if y'all saw my updated video, y'all seen where they were at. They were pretty much like grouped together. And I think them being grouped together, along with some of them being grown in semi-hydro, helps create that extra humidity that it needs. And so I don't feel like I need to do anything. This right here, I don't even know. Let me see if am I able to cut this off? I had this to hold a couple of plants, you guys. A couple of leaves, actually, I'm sorry. And I'm going to have to probably do this off. Let's see. Camera. It might be too tight. Let me see. I had a couple of leaves, you guys, and I was trying to tie it to this bamboo stake to hold them up because she was going wild, and I was trying to keep her controlled to a certain extent. Let's see. Okay, I did get it. Okay, so I usually try to like hold it up a little bit. I'll probably just do these 3. And I just took you could actually use those, probably could use these Velcro strips too. I use whatever I have on hand. This is my yarn. So I already had like little pieces here and there. And instead of throwing it away, I said, okay, I can keep it for this. I try to repurpose as much as possible because, this plant collecting thing can become pricey. And so you want to try your best to, see, that looks better, right? I think it does. You want to try to save as much money as you can. But yeah, as far as the humidity, now in here, the humidity level, I have my thermostat over my, I don't know what to call it, that measure the humidity in the room. But right now I'm looking at it and it's at 60%. Now it's at 60%, you guys, because I actually purchased another humidifier. I have a humidifier already, but you have to, for that particular humidifier, you have to lift it up, fill it, turn it over and fill it. And honestly, you guys, the thing was getting heavy and I'm starting to have a little problem with my wrist. And I think it's because I do a lot of work with my hands, between not only working with plants, just create stuff. I use my hands a lot, working on computers and things like that. I do a lot of stuff with my hands, and I don't know. And plus, I'm getting older, so it might be just that. But it was becoming annoying, guys, trying to put water in it. And so I decided to go ahead. Oh, wow. This is my Alocasia Frydek, you guys. She's hanging in there for the most part. I just don't know, because this is my third attempt with this one, whether or not if I'll be successful growing her or not. But, yeah, so I brought a humidifier that is like a floor model type, where you can just put the water on the top and keep it moving. And that's just been working. Well, actually, I take that back. I didn't buy it. My husband brought it for me because I told him I wanted a floor humidifier, and he got one for me. So, but it works like a dream. I just fill it up and keep it moving. I can control it on my app on my phone. And I have it set where when the humidity drops below a certain point in this room, it automatically kicks on. So I don't have to worry about, it's hassle-free for me. And that's something that I need, considering I'm juggling so many things right now, between work and caring for the home, caring for my husband, because I am a caregiver. It just takes I'm just trying to come up with ways to make my load, a little bit easier. Okay, so she has a lot of leaves. And I know you're like, Pam, you gonna clean those leaves? Yes, I am, child. I'm cleaning these leaves. I'm cleaning these leaves because if this plant dies, it will not be from my lack of trying. And so I do know the last 2 times I had her, some of it was a pest issue. But I can honestly say, too, my first purchase of her, it was not a good purchase. I can't even remember where I got it from. But even if I did know, I don't know if I would tell y'all, because I'm not really about shaming people. And with selling plants, it's iffy, And I don't think, I like to think that maybe in this world, people are not out to just get your money and just give you plants send you plants knowing that they're not ready. I hope that people are not really like that. I like to think that, and I know that might be a little bit naive for me to say, but that's just how I feel. I like to think that people have the best intentions, even though I know there's cases where people just don't. But again, yeah, my first time of getting this plant, I don't think she was in the best conditions. So I don't even know if I should count that first time as my 3 strikes you're out, I'm out rule type of thing. I just don't know. So far, okay, I have her growing. She's sitting on the floor in my dining room, so she's getting artificial lighting. I don't have a space for her to actually be with the other alocasias that I have grouped together in my home. As you can see, she's kind of growing a little wild, and then she has so many little baby pups. Since I did have to cut a couple of leaves that, turned yellow, and I know that's a common thing. So my number one goal really with this plant, honestly, you guys, is just keeping her alive, man. I just want to be able to keep her alive and keep her happy to the point where she may be just providing me with beautiful growth. I'm not even trying to get the big leaves at this point. I just want her to survive. Can we just tackle that goal first before we even start worrying about the size? Because this one, I don't know, it's just one of those things, and which leads me to believe that you have to know your conditions. You have to know your growing conditions. I don't think that everybody is able to grow all kinds of alocasias. I think it's different kinds of alocasias in your personal environment that does better than others. I think some of the, I feel like from my experience, some of the alocasias do well, or just is a more hardier alocasia, if that makes sense. One of the examples would be the alocasia poly that I just cleaned, you guys. I feel like that plant is a very hardy plant. Okay, now I just kind of like put the thing around her, but it didn't do any justice. And I think because I need a stake, I do have this, because I took this stake off of one of the other plants. It's like a plastic, I don't even know where I got this from, but it's plastic, really designed for you to, I guess, put in like a hydroponic without rotting. I think I'm going to put, yeah, let me see if I can, yeah, I think that'll be better so I can at least hold her up, because she be on the floor in my dining room, guys, and she is like flopping all over the place. Which probably wouldn't be too bad if she was on something, but the fact that I literally have her on the floor. She has so many leaves, I think if I was to, I don't know, put her in a stand, she would block a lot of the light for some of my other plant babies, so that's why she's on the floor, if that make any sense. But yeah, that's the best, that's the best I can do with her. And I just sprayed her down, so, but so far so good. I didn't change the medium. That's one thing I'm learning not to do when I first get these alocasias, is don't be in a rush to try to put them in my mix. Let them sit in their own mix and give them time to communicate with you whether or not, if you're able to keep them in that mix and they grow successfully in your home. She has so many leaves, you guys, I don't want to break her leaves up. Now, I do have one outside of the Jacqueline that I am struggling with, and I'm starting to wonder whether or not if this plant is just one of those plants that don't do well in my growing conditions, and it's my Alocasia scalprum. I'm always showing y'all the real deal for what it is. I changed her substrate. I do now have her in my leca and spag mix type of thing, and I'm just trying to reestablish her roots. Her root system was decent, but you know, you want big robust roots. I knew that once I did this transition that she would go through changes, so she does have these nasty leaves, and I am going to, okay, let's see, trying to see, I don't, okay, I can cut this one all the way back because a leaf is already grown out. So I am removing these leaves because I don't know what the yellowing is about. It could be more or less, I'm thinking that it's just a transitioning phase, at least I hope so. You know, this is my second attempt to the scalprum, and I really wish she is growing beautifully in my collection because I love this plant so much. The color, the veination, the darkness of the leaf, the shape of the leaves, everything about this plant, I am totally in love. And I really hope that doing this will help her become a better looking plant. There has been other alocasias that I transitioned as well, and I know that from experience, when I do transition them out of the soil and do this semi-hydroponic situation, that I do have to allot them time to acclimate, that they're gonna like look ugly before they start looking beautiful again. So yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I just know that this is another alocasia that I kind of struggle with, and maybe I'm not giving her the best thing that she needs. I'm hoping that this hydroponic situation will help her be healthy and hopefully give her the opportunity to want to thrive. I think I'm going to cut this. And I usually, let me show you. I don't cut it all the way off. I've heard that if you cut it all the way off, it does nothing but just recedes even further away. So I do leave some of that burnt edging on there. But I am cutting the majority of it off. Tips like this, when it does that, I kind of leave it be. Now, I may have to bring her in here because now I'm looking at these leaves, the burnt tips may give me an indication that she needs, did I spray her? I can't even remember this. Yeah, my memory. But let me do it. I'm saying I may need to bring her in here because the tips of the leaves may indicate some form of more humidity. But again, like I said, I've never really had my plants my alocasias be too fussy with humidity. It's just certain ones that's giving me these burnt edges and tips. Y'all just seen that one, and then this one too. This is my Alocasia Reginae, and you see the tips. She's another one that I'm transitioning in a semi-hydro. I'm about to show y'all something real quick. Don't judge me, okay? Because I know that it's small, but trust me here. Okay, so I just recently, not too long ago, did this. And I'm trying to revive or really develop her roots. I know, you guys. Pam, that's too small. Okay, I get it. It is too small, and I know that the vessel is too small because alocasia roots are robust, right? I get that. But at the same time, too, I'm starting her out. I did not feel comfortable putting her in a bigger substrate, knowing that her roots are not developed fully for that. So what I'm doing to make sure I give her a chance is doing it like I would do soil. If you had a plant that was going to be in soil, you wouldn't give her too big of a pot if her root system was not there. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to follow the same rule when it comes to even the semi-hydroponics. Now, again, she is transitioning, so she is not looking the best. The crispiness of her leaves, it could be a humidity issue. If y'all know for certain if that's what it is, let me know. Do I need to bring her in here? But honestly, how much humidity does she need? Because really it's like at a 50% inside my home for now. And I don't know. Like, so I'm cutting some of that off. I'm leaving some of it on. I'm thinking it has to be a humidity issue. The humidity or watering in regards to her. But again, like I said, I think you should, if you are an alocasia lover, you should venture out and try different types of alocasias and find and come across the ones that has the higher success rate in your home. You know, the poly may work well in my home, but it may not work well in your home. You may be thriving with the dragon's breath, and as you can see, I'm struggling with it. Those of you have commented on my channel. Y'all made a mention about how y'all too have grown a Jacqueline, and your Jacqueline is thriving, which is great. And you see that I'm struggling, and she's a sad sap under my care. So I think it's nothing wrong with trying out different alocasias. I don't want to, almost forgot to spray it. I don't want to be like, leave alocasias alone, because that's not really fair. I think it's just the type. You just got to find the ones that work well in your space, in your growing space, in your home conditions. You have to find the ones. And so far, the majority of the ones that I have, knock on wood, have been doing pretty decent. I think I have about 3 more, and actually probably 4 more, you guys. I left one inside my home. I totally forgot, but I need to wipe her down because I haven't wiped her down in a while. This is my Quilted Dreams, you guys. She did a turnaround. I had to take a chance on her and put her in this semi-hydro situation, and she did look bad before she started looking better. And she's coming, I think she's coming along. This is the latest leaf that she's given me, so I really love this plant too because of the structure of the leaf. I just love I don't know, the prehistoric look of certain alocasias, how they have all that structure going on. I think I don't even know if this is, I'm gonna take this off. It's not really helping. This was this thing I tried. I don't even know how successful it is. Thank goodness I didn't pay a lot of money for it, so my expectations was very little in regards to that. I don't think it's really holding them up like they should. Or maybe I'm not using it right. I'm not even sure, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to, just for now, leave it be. But yeah, this Quilted Dreams, she is a dream. I really love the structure of the leaves. She's such a beautiful plant and actually worth the challenge. You know, she wasn't doing well at all, and I got really afraid. I did not want her to meet her demise, and I went into plant mommy action and just put her in this semi-hydro. And she's doing very good because, let's see. You can actually see her roots in the pot, but I've also noticed too that I see some green right there. So that must mean a plant or leaf may shortly try to emerge from there. I'm trying not to tie it too tight. I'm not trying to cut off circulation. But again, this is a piece of yarn. It's soft, so it's not like it's going to cut through to any particular piece. But I just want to be able to at least keep her controlled a little bit. And yeah, she's doing so good in this solution. I probably would not take her out of this. Now my Polly is growing completely in soil. She's not even in a self-watering pot, which is another indicator for me that she's more of a hardier, more of a resilient alocasia. At least in my environment, she appears to be so. I have another plant that I need to get because it's important that I wipe down her leaves. I have this beast that needs to be clean as well. And then this one, but I have to get the other one that I've been wanting to wipe down. So hang tight, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I could not believe that I forgot all about my black velvet alocasia. This is the only alocasia that I have growing in my bedroom. She is in semi-hydroponics. She's trying to develop her roots. We've been having a little bit of challenge with this plant. A lot of challenge with this plant, actually. But I am able to maintain her. I was growing her at first in here, but she went downhill during one non-grow season year, and I made a decision to take her out of here. And I'm glad I did, because she just didn't want to be in this environment. And I have been maintaining, she hasn't been giving me a whole lot of leaves, so she will instinctively lose a leaf. You see this right here? This is a whole chunk where I lost all of the leaves. But I'm leaving it there because you just never know whether or not if something will transpire from here, like whether it's corms connected to the bottom of the root ball system. I just don't know what's going on with it. And so I'm leaving it in here, and I'm not sure whether or not if this plant right here maybe is attached to this. So I'm just leaving her be. Now she is growing a leaf right here, so it's not a lot of humidity going on in my home, but it goes to show the hardiness and what alocasias you're able to grow in your environment versus not. The example is right here, you guys. Honestly, this black velvet along with this dragon scale that I'm about to clean next, you guys, I literally brought them at the exact same time. And as you can see, this one is a very smaller specimen, where this one is just busting out at the seams. Now, how is that? Yeah, I'm giving them the exact same care, which can honestly just be an indicator of maybe the velvet, although beautiful black, is not going to be giving me those robust leaves that I want. It's not satisfied with the care that I'm giving, even though I'm giving it optimum care. And I have to be giving it optimum care because the proof is in the pudding with this plant. But this plant also could also just be a little bit more resilient. So that's why I was saying, you know, don't give up on the entire Alocasia species. It's just more or less finding the actual variety that works in your care. And I feel satisfied by doing this one because, again, she sits in my bedroom, and I don't have a lot of big leaf plants inside my bedroom. So even though I do see her every day and every night, I feel like I don't wipe her as often as I do the others. Okay, so this big beauty beast, definitely cleaning her. She's doing well, or she's happy, because you see that she's giving me a flower. You know, their flowers are not that spectacular. A lot of people cut them off. I'm just gonna let her do her thing, honestly, just to see where she's going. And there's also, I can't lift it up for y'all to see, but take my word for it, there's corms actually coming out of the pot. I at least have one. I see something else growing out of the pot here, and it looks like some root action going on. So she is definitely happy with me. And she, honestly, you guys, she was another one that I brought her at the same time as my black velvet Alocasia, and they both were not doing well growing in the sunroom, even though I thought it was premium conditions that they was receiving. But I guess maybe it could have been just too much light for them and too much intensity of warmth for them. So I brought both of them inside my home, and doing that for this plant, this beautiful specimen, was the absolute game changer. As y'all can see, she has just given me a lot of leaves, and she does not go, she hasn't since I've had her, and I've had them for a few years now. She hasn't went dormant for me as far as just losing a lot of leaves. She was losing a lot of leaves when she was in here, which is crazy, right? But again, if you listen to plants, or if you pay attention closely, plants will tell you exactly what they need. Or, well, maybe not necessarily tell you exactly what they need, but they will definitely tell you what they don't like. And then you can do your own deduction from that, right? And so that's what I kind of did, and it paid off with this particular plant, and I love her so much. She is such a beautiful, when I first saw this plant, it was like instant attraction of love because of that back. Oh my goodness, y'all see that back? Not to mention the front, but it's just how, like, why? Okay, so right here, I don't know if I should cut that. I think I'm going to trim it a little bit. Leave the edge tip there still. And honestly, this has got to be the first leaf that's done this. I had one leaf, honestly, where I cut off completely, like it melted in the middle. So I don't know if it was getting too much moisture or something like that. So with my self-watering pot for this, again, the beauty about Alocasias is you always take away, at least for me, I always learn a lesson. And so the lesson for me in regards to that experience is I don't feel, it's a line, and I need to probably clean the bottom of this one day. There's a max line on here, which is right here. The line is right here, you guys. I never fill it up to that capacity. I feel like doing that, the plant, although Alocasias are known for wanting that moistness, they don't want to be wet. And I feel like filling the reservoir up to that max gives them a little bit too much moisture than they want. And I did that, and that's when I noticed that one of my leaves were kind of like melting and stuff in the middle because it was storing a lot of water. And so I've never filled it all the way up to that max line. So if I do fill it up, it's usually going to be like to this level right here. And then I'm leaving it alone. And then even after I notice the reservoir is gone out, I let the reservoir stay empty for 1 day. Just 1 day. I don't go too far out because, again, watering issues, if I don't water on time, that's where it seems like the pest starts getting involved, and I don't want to have that happen. So I try my best to just be mindful of that. And she probably could go into a deeper pot as well, but again, or I could probably put moss around here, but to keep it whole like that would be, I don't know how that would work, but you know, I'm also into, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And because she hasn't really given me any issues my entire time of owning her, outside of what was going on in the sunroom, and I brought her back inside my home, and she said, okay, plant mom, I love this condition, I'm gonna grow well for you. I don't want to intervene and disrupt what she's been providing me. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. But time will tell. Anyway, okay, so this is my last one. This is my silver dragon alocasia. One of my newly acquired ones. And she actually has corms on the top as well. Again, I'm not going to be digging for the corms. I'm just going to leave her be. Another thing that I'm learning of what not to do is sometimes it's just best to just leave alocasias be. Guys, just don't be so quick to put them in a substrate unless you see them decline in some kind of way. But if they are not declining and they seem to be okay, you know, just, you know, and the substrate is not matching the substrate you have your other plant babies growing in, it's okay. But, you know, learn the characteristics of the plant. I highly recommend you guys doing that if nothing else. But if you, honestly, like I said, if you want to maintain these leaves and things, try your best to just maintain regular conditions that they would have during the growing season. And the two main things for me, at least my experience, has got to be the light, the watering, and then thirdly on the list, but really is equally as important as number one with the light, is what we're doing right now. And that's just my pre-pest management. Those are the three main things I think with actually growing or giving your alocasias a chance. Again, these tips that I'm providing you guys today, will they work on every last alocasia? Of course not, because there's other factors that come into play as we just discussed, like the hardiness of the plant, how well it's going to grow for you, what kind of conditions you have going on in your home. I mean, there's just, the list can go on and on and on. Each one is so different, so therefore the growth pattern is going to be different. The way one plant grows for you is going to be different, and so we just have to embrace that and recognize it for what it is. So this is pretty much so satisfying. I'm glad I was able to cut this off my list. And I don't have to water them because honestly, you guys, and I'm looking at the soil because some of them are in semi-hydro. The only plant that I may have to water will be my Alocasia Frydek. But all the other plants I literally watered yesterday. This one right here, as far as these reservoirs, which is a game changer, you guys. It's still liquid in here. It's definitely a game changer when you have a variety of plants. It's definitely a game changer if you're a plant parent on the go. So, yeah, but I'm going to clean up this mess and put my plant babies back. Thanks so much, you guys, for hanging out. I hope this casual conversation of just talking about alocasias in general can provide you guys with a little bit of insight or maybe broaden your horizons and scope of thinking in regards to alocasia care. So keep in mind, you guys, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planty things, definitely subscribe to this channel. Again, if you have not, like and share with anybody that you feel could benefit for the information that's in this content right here. And keep pushing those thumbs up. Push them up, you guys. It's been helping my channel. Thank you so much, too. I believe YouTube has like this new feature. I can't think of it. Is it Snap? I can't think of the name, but I know it's a new feature where you guys, it's almost like a thumbs up, but it's really pushing that channel, shining the spotlight on small YouTube creators such as myself. And I noticed that some of you guys, I think is it Skype, or I can't even remember the name, you guys, I'm sorry. But I have noticed that some of you guys took the time out of y'all day and chose me to actually put that recognition. And thank you so much. Thank you guys also for the thumbs up. It means a lot to me because you're taking time out of your precious day to just give me the thumbs up. And it's really been helping my channel. I can't do any of this without you guys and the support and the kind words. I read all y'all comments. I try my best to comment to the majority of everybody that has something to say. I love reading y'all thoughts. Just thank you. Just thank you for hanging out with me. And yeah, but everybody take care. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. Until next time, guys, much love. Bye. Now, the only thing about this, when I do it off camera, is I don't have as much mess. But anyway, bye.